Hi, welcome to my channel. I'm Gormley. So many of you have commented over the last year about this blanket that I use as my backdrop. This is the all-call blanket from my book, Go Crochet Afghan Design Workbook. And so many of you have also said that you'd like me to teach you how to work reading symbol diagrams and working them in a motif. So I thought, hey, let's combine everything all in one video. So today we are taking a motif, this one, matter of fact, from the all-call blanket from my book, Go Crochet Afghan Design Workbook, and we're going to open that up and look at the pattern and work it together. So this book has 50 patterns in it, and this is the page here, excuse me for bumping the camera, page 86, that you can find this pink motif, but in the all-call blanket, when I put all 50 motifs together, I made them all in one color so it would be unified in the blanket that is now the backdrop of these videos. This is the symbol diagram. I'll bring it up a little bit closer, then I have a photocopy for you. So this is the symbol diagram that matches the written instructions. There's both for every item in this book. And I wanted to teach you a little bit about working a symbol diagram in the round, because you've seen my previous videos where I've taught you how to work symbol diagrams in Tunisian and also in row patterns. So check all those out. So let's get started, shall we? I have the symbol diagram. If you look at it, you can see that there's multiple colors. Often symbol diagrams have alternating colors for the different rounds or rows. So you can see the inner round 1 is gray, so that's round 1. And then round 2 is in this pinky orange color, and then back to gray for round 3. And it just helps us see the progression of the motif from the inside of it working outward. And you can see the rows are enumerated with 1, 2, 3, and 4. So this is a 4-round motif. And this is what it looks like when it's done in the book. And this is what it looks like when it is done in all one color. So let's get started. I have the written instructions. I made them a little bit bigger so that you could read along maybe with me. And I have also the symbol diagram here so that you can follow along. It's a little bit bigger than what was in the book. So we're going to start with a hook and yarn, and we're going to start with the slip knot, which is that little dot there. And so if we read the instructions, we will see that the text is going to tell us chain 1, 2, 3, 4, and join with a slip knot. And in fact, that is what it says here. Chain 4, join with a slip stitch to form a ring. So instead of slip knot, rather, of course, it is slip stitch. So we're starting with a slip knot on our hook. And I have a small worsted weight yarn and a size I hook, just the hook that goes along with the yarn you want to use. You can really make this even in thread if you really wanted to. So if we're following along the instructions, we would say chain 4 and join with a slip stitch to form a ring, and that's exactly what it says by reading the diagram. You can do 1, 2, 3, 4 ovals is 4 chains, and the dot indicates a slip stitch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and join to form a ring with a slip stitch in the 4th chain from the hook. Okay, the written instructions then say to chain 7, which counts as a treble crochet plus chain 3. And we can see from the diagram that it's telling us to chain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 ovals. So, oh, no, that's not right. I skipped round 1. I went right to round 2. And I could correct myself by looking at the diagram. Because by looking at the diagram, I see here that there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 plus signs, and that chain 1. So round 1 is actually these 8 single crochets. So we're going to chain 1, because that's the vertical oval there. So chain 1, and then we're going to place 8 plus signs or slip stitches in the ring. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I guess I was just too excited to get ready, huh? 5, 6, 7, 8. And if I had been more patient, I would have seen that round 1 actually in the written instruction says chain 1, 8 single crochet in the ring, join with a slip stitch in first single crochet, do not fasten off. So that's exactly what we did. We placed a chain 1, then we did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 single crochets. Now we're going to join with a slip stitch in the first single crochet, not the first chain of that little group. I always work over my tail, so I'm grabbing it and I'm joining it with a slip stitch. So this is row 1. It matches the picture, it matches the diagram. We are on the right track. Now the motif in the book is 3 colors. I'm going to be working with 2 today, but I'm going to go ahead and continue with this same color because I want to. And because it says do not fasten off this color, we're going to use it again for round 2. Round 2 says then chain 7, which counts as a treble crochet plus a chain 3. So if we were looking at the diagram, you would count here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 ovals, which are chains, and it counts as a treble crochet, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 3 chains, which is 1, 2, 3. So we're going to chain 7 and follow the instructions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now it says star, so we'll pay attention to that. Treble crochet and next single crochet, and then comma. So let's look at this one phrase at a time. So according to the diagram then, after the 7 chains, we're going to treble crochet in the single crochet here. So it's exactly what the written words and the diagram match. So bringing this closer, it's got 2 little hash marks, which means 2 yarn overs. So whether you remember what a treble crochet is or a double treble crochet, it doesn't really matter. These little hash marks tell you to yarn over twice. So a treble crochet is yarning over twice. 1, 2, and placing that stitch in the next single crochet. So we're going to do that. Okay, then it says chain 3, 1, 2, 3. That's what the words say, and in fact that is what the diagram says. So after the treble crochet, we chain 1, 2, 3. Okay, and look, another treble crochet in the next single crochet. And guess what? Round 2, it says repeat from star 6 more times. So we'll go back to the star and do another treble crochet, yarn over twice, in the next single crochet, and we'll do that 6 more times for a total of 8. Okay, so we'll just go around like spokes on a wagon wheel here. Treble crochets, oh, so cute. 1, 2, 3. I'd like to give out a shout out to my new subscriber, Jake B, who is a friend of my daughter's. Hey, thank you so much for joining me. Lots of new subscribers lately. Thank you so much. All right, 1, 2, 3. I need to give myself a little bit more yarn, pulling up some yarn. Yarning over twice for a treble crochet, inserting and yarning over and pulling through 2, yarning over, pull through 2 each time until I'm done. 1, 2, 3. Treble crochet. So we had to do it 6 more times. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Remember this beginning chain 7 counted as a treble crochet, so we're counting it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then we were supposed to finish with a chain 3. 1, 2, 3. So, because that's the end of that phrase. It said treble crochet in the next single crochet, chain 3. That's the end of the phrase. Repeat 6 more times. We did that. Then join with a slip stitch in the 4th chain of beginning chain 7. Okay, so look at this closely. Join with a slip stitch, which is a dot in a diagram, in the 4th chain of the beginning chain 7. So if we look at the diagram, we've done all of these spokes of the wagon wheel all the way around. We've done our chain 3, and there's the dot right there in the 1, 2, 3, 4th chain of the beginning 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we're adding the slip stitch right there in the 4th chain. So it's exactly what the written instructions tell us. I can count here on my beginning chain 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, and that is where we will put the slip stitch. Whenever possible, I like to try and go through 2 fibers, or 2 strands rather, with a slip stitch. Ooh, I dropped it because I was looking through the viewfinder instead of looking at my work. Sorry about that. Okay, sorry about my fingernails. They are what they are. Okay, so this is where we are with round 2. We are now done with round 2. And I think I'd like to change color now. So I am going to follow the instruction that says, oh look, this M dash here is telling us the count of how many things we now have already done. So it is saying we have made 8 treble crochet and we have 8 chain 3 spaces. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 treble crochets, and we have 8 chain 3 spaces all the way around. And it does say to fasten off, so I'm happy about that because that is what I'd like to do. So I'm going to fasten that off. The cut tail through the loop where that was abandoned by my hook. And I'm going to grab a pink color now. And let's start with round 3. So round 3 then says join B, or color B, which is the other color, with a slip stitch in any chain 3 space. Okay. So I'm going to join with a slip stitch in any chain 3 space. Now on the diagram, it doesn't often tell you exactly how to join. You can really use the method that you want, but next to the numeral number 3, we're joining here, and the slip stitch is the dot. So slip stitch and chain 1, 2, 3 in a chain 3 space. So join B with a slip stitch in any chain 3 space, and then chain 3, which is going to count as a double crochet. So if we look at the diagram, the 1, 2, 3 counts as a double crochet. It's right next to a double crochet, and you can see there are no other chain 3s all the way around this row or this round, because that's just the start, and we're counting it as a double crochet. But then we won't need to do that anymore for this round. So slip stitch. I did not need to put a slip knot on my hook. You can if you want, but you don't have to. The other method is to just insert the hook where you want it to go, hold the yarn behind the work, and just simply pull up a loop. There doesn't have to be a knot there. So 1, 2, 3 for that beginning chain 3, which counts as a double crochet. And then it says, okay, all in parentheses. All in parentheses means do it all in the same spot. So double crochet, chain 3, 2 double crochets in the same space. So I have 1 double crochet that is the chain 3 begin. It's telling me to do another double crochet. Then it's telling me to chain 1, 2, 3, and then place 2 more double crochets in that same chain 3 space. All right. Now this is exactly what it says also on the diagram. So the diagram says we chain 3, then we said double crochet, chain 1, 2, 3, 2 more double crochet, all in the same space. Okay. Now reading the diagram, you could interpret this to put them in that chain, but general conventional wisdom is just to fit it in there. Like you don't have to be struggling to get it all in that particular chain. But like this one, the treble we did in the single crochet, it made sense to put it in the single crochet because there was no chain spaces to put it in. And it didn't say to put it in as chain space, it said to put it in the stitch. So if it says the space, then you don't need to put it in a chain, which is a stitch. Does that make sense? Following along our diagram, we see that the next thing that we're going to do is a double crochet, but look, it has a little hook on it. And the little hook on it tells us that it's going to go around the post of the stitch below it. And in this case, it is a front post double crochet. There's 1 yarn over. So let's do that. Round 3. So we did the double crochets, and then we have a little star here, and it says front post double crochet around the next stitch. So we'll do that. Okay, then another parentheses, so all the things in the parentheses we're doing together. 2 double crochets, chain 3, 2 double crochets, all in the next space. Okay, so it's exactly what the picture shows us, and it's what we just did a moment ago. So we're doing 2 double crochets, 1, 2, oh, I dropped the yarn. 1, 2, 3, and then 2 double crochets in the chain space. Okay. And then repeat from star 6 more times. So let's go back, find the star. The star is there. So we're going back to the front post double crochet. So we'll do that around this post of the next stitch. And we'll do this entire sequence after the star up until the semicolon. We'll do that sequence 6 times. Okay, so it's time to do some more double crochets. And I'm going to stop the video and maybe do the do a little sped up version here for you. But we're continuing this 6 more times all the way around. So here's where we are now. At the end of that phrase of round 3, we were supposed to do that item 6 times. The last thing we did was the 2 double crochets, chain 3, 2 double crochets in the last space. So it leaves us here. And so that's why it tells us to front post double crochet around the next stitch, because that phrase did not include that 1 stitch. So we're just finishing up in the way it's meant to be. And join with a slip stitch in the top of the beginning chain 3. So that chain 3 is here, and we will slip stitch in the top of it as it says. Easier said than done, right? To find that top chain. And there it is. And a slip stitch. Okay, and then there's an end dash here. Let's see, end dash here, and it says 32 double crochets total, 8 front post double crochets, and fasten off. So I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 front post double crochets. And then if there were 4 double crochets per item times 8, it would be 32. So also you can count corners if you want. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. To know that you're on track with this 8-sided octagon, polygon thing. Okay, so on our diagram, we see that this is exactly what we did. We put double crochet, chain 3, double crochet, 2 of them, all in that chain 3 space. And then in between those groupings, we did the front post double crochet around the treble. So we now have completed round 3. We joined with a slip stitch in the top. And so at the end of this one, it says to fasten off. And we absolutely could fasten off and join new yarn as it tells us to in the chain 3 space. And do I want to do that? Yeah, I guess I should. For illustration purposes, let's go ahead and cut this so you can see the next round more clearly. My old scissors. All right, so let's get the taupe again, or the tan back, and we will read the instruction for round 4. So the second and all other motifs, oh, let's see. Okay, so this motif is meant to be joined as you go, and so the very first one that you make, you're going to work the instruction for first motif, and then next ones, second, and all the subsequent ones are going to be attached to the first one. So let's just do the first motif, because that's what this is, the first one of the group that we're making. So following the diagram, I don't even need to read the written instructions, but I will. It says to join with a slip stitch here in this chain 3 space, 1, 2, 3, chain 3, it's going to count as the first double crochet, and then it's going to say do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 more double crochets in that spot, and there will be a total of 9 double crochets. Then it's going to tell us to skip the 2 double crochets and place a single crochet in the next front post double crochet. Get it? And we'll do this all the way around. And at the end, we will have a single crochet in the front post double crochet, and we'll join with a slip stitch, and it'll be finished. So each of these petals is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 double crochets. Following me? All right, so much fun and really easy. These are all just very easy stitches, so you totally can do this. This is a little, yeah, it's all good. It's all good. So I am going to, I can, when reading the instruction, join C, which is the next color, with a slip stitch at any chain 3 corner. Okay, chain 3, remember we saw that on the diagram. Counts as a double crochet. I knew that because I saw it on the diagram. 8 more double crochet in the same space. Okay, so let's do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, and that was the end of that phrase. Here's a semicolon. So the next thing it says to do, star, we're going to notice that, pay attention. Skip 2 double crochets. Okay, that's exactly what we saw on the diagram. Skip 2 double crochets. Then we're going to single crochet in the next stitch. Okay, that's pretty much exactly what I said when I read the diagram, except the next stitch happens to be a front post double crochet. So we'll be placing the single crochet there. Then we're going to skip 2 double crochets, 1, 2, and place 9 this time double crochets in each chain 3 in the chain 3 space, and repeat from the star. So then after that we'll go back to the star. So let's do 9 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This book, by the way, is still available on Amazon and on my website, ellengormley.com. So then after the 9, then we skip 2 double crochets and single crochet in the next stitch, which happens to be a front post double crochet. Okay, so we're going to do this all the way around, and then at the end of this round, we will skip 2 double crochet, single crochet in the stitch. So we're just going to continue in the pattern and then join with a slip stitch. So stitch along with me, and I will meet you back here in just one moment to finish up this round. So as we come to the end of this phrase where it said, do the 9 double crochets in the chain 3 space, repeat from star all the way 6 more times. After that, we still are left with this last little bit undone. So we need to finish that, and the rest of that phrasing or that instruction is now after the semicolon. So it'll say skip 2 double crochet, which is the same as what we've been doing all along. Single crochet in the next stitch, which is what we've been doing all along, skip in. So we're just finishing the pattern as we had established. But conventional these days, crochet instructions, we write all of that out. So then skip 2 more double crochet and then join with a slip stitch, join with slip stitch in top of beginning chain 3, which we will do here, and fasten off. So I'm slip stitching through that and fastening off, and I'll lay it down and show you. Theo has joined us up on the table. I know you can't see him, but he might put his paw in here. So this is the finished motif. And so I think you'll see that it matches the symbol diagram. Look at that. Looks just like it. And then the written instructions match. So you can do a checks and balances. If you don't understand the diagram, look at the instructions and vice versa. So this is where we are. This is the floral octagon from my book, Go Crochet Afghan Design Workbook. I hope you have loved this instruction and this pattern. Please leave a comment. Please like and subscribe. Turn on the notification bell so you don't miss a thing. And let me get little Theo in here for you before I shoo him off the table. He's right here. So that's all for this installment. Thank you so much, everybody. Bye.